Hey y'all, and welcome back for another paranormal pit stop. Tonight, we'll be delving through a 738-acre mountain park and open-air amphitheater located off West Alameda Parkway near Morrison, Colorado, about 10 miles west from Denver. Easily distinguishable by its large red sandstone outcroppings, recognizable for its hosting of a range of music, television, and film performances, and infamous for its purported assortment of ghostly activity. Are you prepared to brave the history and hauntings surrounding the Red Rocks Park and Amphitheater? Fascinatingly, through the whole of the site, signs of Jurassic Colorado and dinosaur life can be viewed. Historically, from around 9000 BCE and onward, land now holding Red Rocks was heavily utilized by tribes native to the region, and circa 1000 CE, the Ute tribe would migrate to the site and would use its abundant rock formations as a natural defense and shelter from the elements. In 1800, Southern Cheyenne and Arapaho would move in on the expanse, sparking tribal warfare between parties that stretched the Front Range. In 1820, Red Rocks was discovered to the U.S. during an army expedition led by Stephen Long, and following the 1858 gold strike at Cherry Creek, the area would be flooded under a rush of settlers, during which time Ute chief Coloro would lead a resistance against the European invaders, and would hole up in a canyon now called Coloro's Cave. The earliest moniker for park grounds, being the Garden of the Angels, was established on July 4th of 1870 by pioneer Coloradoan judge Martin Van Buren Luther, and in 1872, one Marion Burtz would become the first official owner of future Red Rocks lands, after which he would sell the property to Leonard H. Eicholtz, who would set to work on the development of a park circa 1878. Through his work, Leonard would establish a number of roads, trails, picnic grounds, steps, and ladders in order to make the landscape more accessible to visitors, and in 1906 he would sell his creation to famed editor John Brisbane Walker, who would rename it as the Garden of the Titans instead, and who would host concerts from it off a temporary platform stage. In 1927, the site would be purchased by the city of Denver, who would officiate it as Red Rocks, after which the Civilian Conservation Corps would establish early roads, the Pueblo-style concession stand, and from 1936 to 1941 would build the Expanse's iconic amphitheater. In 1973, the Red Rocks Amphitheater was declared a Denver landmark. In 2003, the park would celebrate the grand opening of its new Red Rocks Visitor Center and Hall of Fame. In 2011, the site would become the first inductee to the Colorado Music Hall of Fame, and in 2015, it would be designated a National Historic Landmark. Later the same year, the Colorado Music Hall of Fame Museum would take up residence within the park's trading post. Red Rocks Park and Amphitheater remains open into the present, offering breathtaking scenery, a venue popular for major concerts and performances, a mess of winding trails, and, according to legend, a slew of ghostly activity, with those frequenting its bounds reporting constant electronic malfunctions, orbs in photography, the constant feeling of being watched or followed, and encounters with both shadowy figures and full-bodied apparitions in garb spanning from ancient native attire up to more modernized clothings. After dark, the sounds of chanting, singing, and of tribal drums have been heard from empty areas, and a number of accounts tell of close encounters with UFOs, or even with extraterrestrials on the ground. Around the off-limits section of the old stage, the apparition of an old-fashioned miner with a long white beard standing at about 5'5" and toting a bottle of booze has been spied, and has been known to get aggressive with those who get too close. And at the old trading post, namely after dark, many have described disembodied voices and scratching sounds, objects sighted moving on their own, instances in which doorknobs spontaneously shake or rattle, and accounts of boxes flying wildly from shelves. Lastly, the most famous story surrounding this park tells of an entity titled the Hatchet Lady of Red Rocks, who it's said appears from small caves and dark spaces, naked, sometimes on horseback, and wielding a bloody axe, which, on multiple occasions, she's used in attempts at dismembering those who get too close. Interestingly, many reports of attacks by the Hatchet Lady are derived from vandals, from those who've disrupted the natural scene, and from youth breaking either their parents or the park rules, leaving some to ponder her beneficence. While one story claims the Hatchet Lady is the ghost of a former Morrison resident, one old Mrs. Johnson, who hated youth and young love, and who, it said, would pull her collar up to appear headless, while brandishing a hatchet in order to scare away those she deemed unworthy of the expanse's glory. Others tell she was actually a homeless woman who resided within a cave sometime through the 1950s, and whose spirit stayed behind to watch over the place she called home, though no solidifying evidence has been discovered to date, leaving her true identity a mystery. Thanks for joining us on this Paranormal Pit Stop. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.